Hi out-of-body explorers. We're going to talk about Dr. Strange and how his first movie really explains the out-of-body exploration system. So let's talk about that today. Dr. Strange in the first video basically goes through an awakening, and I love this movie so much because I think it's very powerful. And now I wasn't technically understanding what was going on with the universe, and one of my friends tells me to watch the movie, and I watched the movie and I was a little blown away. But then I realized Cumberbatch, I know I call him Cumberbunch, Cumberbatch looked like my friend who became my boyfriend at one time. I've known him since he was 13 years old. I know. Line to this is, I was very fixated on the concept of Dr. Strange, and then I was fixated like, could you believe that I, in this 3D world, have a man that looks just like him and actually had the same concept of being great at whatever he did to an obsession? And I loved it because we're still friends right now, and I think that's one of my favorite TikTok videos. I saw Dr. Strange in 2019, and basically I was trying to understand this concept, and then I went away to my out-of-body exploration retreat, and then it all just went boom. So let me break down Dr. Strange, the first movie, so that you understand and have a very good base for the second movie. And we're going to break it like this. This is a warning. This is a spoiler alert. I'm telling you the movie, but I need you to see the movie if you're going to end up renting it and stopping at a certain point.
Yeah, you want me to screw up my perfect record? Definitely not.
Basically, it's an ego situation where ego equals money equals no compassion, and Dr. Strange goes through this whole rigmarole. Then Strange goes through a tragedy. You watch the tragedy and you watch him melt down, so he basically goes rock bottom because he has to find himself.
This is useless. It's not useless, man. You can do this.
At 24 minutes in the movie, really listen to the conversation and the exchange. Even at that point, Dr. Strange has some serious judgment, and then Master Mordo says,
so might I offer you some advice? Forget everything you think you know.
and the greatest advice he gives him: forget everything you think you know. And that's what's happening right now in America. Don't forget that. Now, he meets the Ancient One.
So you figured out a way to reprogram nerve cells to self-heal?
So now we're looking at the movie at 28 minutes. At 28 minutes, this is the famous movie scene. Bam! The out-of-body situation where you're so amazed that his energy body gets thrown out. And then she explains to him what it is. Although I have to say the explanation is phenomenal, and this is where you do have to stop the movie to pretty much hear what they're saying and repeat it again. Although I have to tell you, I've never been in that scary situation. I've been pulled, I've been thrown, but I always leave it up to God because I have a lot of protection. So when you listen to what's happening, listen to what she says about energy is thought. Thought shapes reality. Now, why I'm saying that's really important, and this is why the movies have that manipulation. This is why God told me don't watch any movies for 25 years. When I moved into my new place, I had no internet, no computer, no smartphone for 7 years. 7 years. And so what I think is excellent about it is that I continue just being in the moment, but I read a lot, and I meditated, and I did a lot of work on myself and situations, kept doing readings on the side for fun. As he's jumping through these dimensions, she's explaining why the dimensions are in the dimension within the dimensions. So really focus on that and try to understand this. This is why my dimensions may not be vibrationally the same as your dimensions, although we can meet in certain dimensions if we're at that spiritual level and we just make it a point. That's why I'm looking for a bunch of jumpers.
Only one of an infinite number.
And then finally, at the end of that, pull on Dr. Strange, she says, "Who are you? Who are you?" That's a really big question, and that's part of this progression videos that I have that I want you to discover yourself.
Who are you in this vast multiverse? Mr. Strange.
Nothing's a coincidence. I taught a life coaching class and I wanted them to know who they were. As soon as Dr. Strange realizes he wants to be in this system, the Ancient One says no, and he's like, oh, and he gets thrown out, which I think is phenomenal because he still did not appreciate it, and she wanted to know how his appreciation really worked. And the next scene now is at 32 minutes. Really listen to the conversation exchange also, where the Ancient One speaks to Master Mordo.
We never lose our demons, Mordo. We only learn to live above them.
They basically talk about the dark and the light that we have inside of us. So really think about it. There's so many things where people are saying, and I did a video about this, about being a spiritualist. People think that if you're a spiritualist, you're just gonna let everything flow. No, you have to set up your boundaries. This is where the magic starts. At 34 minutes and 25 seconds, they start explaining all of these magical things about what we were taught in the ancient world.
We harness energy drawn from other dimensions of the multiverse.
She speaks of spells and words. Words are spells, and that's how powerful these words are. And that's why, as a teacher, they're very powerful. And there's a misconception with the power into this. It's powerful when you're talking the truth. So if you have to, correct somebody in some situation, it's the power of the truth. And when people deny that, this is where the issues continue or start. She also speaks of energy is drawn from that multi-universe. And at that moment, Strange is sitting down, trying to grasp all of this, and he says,
How do I get from here to there?
how can I get from here to there? And it's the greatest thing that I've been saying from the very beginning. Out-of-body exploration is a practice. You need to study just like studying for an exam. You need to ground yourself. You need to practice like an athlete.
Study and practice, years of it.
It's not that simple. So for example, this whole week, I know that the ethers have been very hostile. So now my protection zones will not put me in there. If I ask to go in there because I think I'm supposed to, but they will tell me what's right and what's wrong and what I need to work on for the week because I have surrendered.
You have to surrender to its current and use its power as your own.
So anytime I say I'm out of my body, or if I do go into a dimensional jump, I will automatically say, God, take me where you want me to go now, and then I move. So there is more to this movie, but I want you to just absorb what I'm just giving you right now.
I control it by surrendering control. It doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to.
Overall, it's surrendering your ego and then really studying and practicing within yourself. So, hope this helped you out. Press like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video.